All right. Well, good evening, everybody. This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero with this Games and Storms live stream. And boy, I could say, wow, we are doing two live streams in 2 days. Wow, who would have known? All right, let me get things set, set up here. Cool. Just doing some refreshing and reloading here. Just some things were still on yesterday. Cool. So I see, as Raymond said in the chat, we're just going to do a brief discussion on what happened with some of the snow totals a bit more north. Although where I am, it seems I got probably about what I was expecting. Right? Cool. I'm also going to bring up, Raymond, for you one extra piece here. Actually, just want to check to see. It's about the downslope that you were talking about. Not as impressive as I thought, but I'll leave it up. All right. Cool. All right, first, as always, Raymond, Delvin, thank you for joining. How are you both doing? And also a little cheers. The drink of the evening. Now, I don't have my Grand Marnier, but this is basically a Jack and Coke. The Grand Marnier I use is with a specialty drink, a special concoction I call the Grand Jack and Coke, which is Grand Marnier mixed with Jack Daniels, along with some maraschino cherry juice, and just topped with a little cherry Coke. Doesn't it sound delicious? Okay. Just reading through your chats there. Yep, Raymond, that pretty much is exactly what we were talking about. The downsloping effect was stronger than the forecast models anticipated. And that usually happens. I see that a lot, especially not necessarily around Albany, but I also see it within the Hudson Valley. And all your snow melted and is gone. I still have quite a bit of snow out there. It still looks like a winter wonderland by me. What about you, Delvin? High temp near 40 at the Albany airport. Not much snow in Boston. It did the changeover. Yet we were kind of looking about that, where it was going to be on the cusp of that freezing line. So it looked like it might have been a bit more intense, and that basically made it turn into rain. Trey Greenwood. I'm not familiar with that person. 36 was the temperature there. Okay. Where I am right now, the temperature is exactly 32 degrees. So any snow that may have melted now will start the refreezing process. And that was a little bit of a concern. I don't see a flash freeze out of this type of a system or at all tonight, just because the temperatures are not dropping drastically. And because they're not dropping drastically, we're not really going to be seeing that flash freeze. Although we could see like some puddles or stuff like that on roadways or walkways, they could freeze because it's very thin, the amount of water that would be there. So tomorrow morning, you definitely want to be cautious. Maybe not necessarily in terms of the roads, but definitely be cautious on the road. But definitely be cautious also with the sidewalks where there might be some icy patches that you're not used to. Convective Chronicles. I will definitely take a look at that. All right. And it looks like everybody did survive any non-storm that may have happened. And so it was a little bit hard to say for me how much snow I got, because when it really started coming down, the snow basically was melting on contact. So it had to snow a good half hour before it started to accumulate. So I talked about that effect last night, but yeah, so that probably hindered some of the snow total a little bit. But I would say we got at least 6 inches. I was saying for my area, I would say 6 to 10, and I was on the low end, so 6, pretty good. But what seemed to throw off the forecast models, and I did post the picture, and I saved it from yesterday. Let me see if I can bring it back up. All right, so this is the picture from last night. Let me bring this on over here. Cool. All right. So this might look familiar. This is a screenshot I took midstream last night. And this was saying 8 inches. That's where I kind of put that range of the 6 to 10 inches from most of, say, the Hudson Valley, North New Jersey. It was just too warm around New York City, so that wasn't really a factor. The question here, though, right around the Albany area, that 9 right there. And even, I actually forgot which model this was. I think this was the NAM. Yes, this was the 3-kilometer NAM. That's what the model this was. So the 3-kilometer NAM, which was more precise because it shows more detail. But again, it wasn't as accurate, because here, this is what really hindered the forecast model from being accurate. So Raymond, like you were saying, you didn't get much of anything because of that downsloping effect, which it's really hard for forecast models to pick up on that at the moment or in the current decade, because they really can't see geographic effects. So that downsloping effect, this is where, Raymond, I did bring it up for you. Oh, wow. I thought those were my tabs. Those are not my tabs. These are my tabs. Cool. So I brought up here the National Weather Service glossary, weather.gov/glossary. Downslope flow, a thermally driven wind direction down a mountain slope, and usually occurring at night, part of the along slope wind system. So it doesn't sound very descriptive there. But with that downsloping effect, it basically created this pool. That's what I was talking with the air densities. It created this pool that really hindered any kind of like snowing, that because it was too warm. It had this pool of warm air that was kind of trapped a little bit with this downsloping, because as the air goes down a mountain or a slope, think of it as you're pumping up a tire. When you're pumping, the pump gets hot. Not because the temperature is actually warming up, but because you're compressing the air. You're making the air do work. physics sciencey term of work there. Anyway, so as the air is in this downslope, it's moving down the mountain or down the slope, it can warm up. So I'm assuming you got more rain than anything versus just a miss. But that downsloping effect that caused the air to move down the slope and it compressed, not a lot, we're talking like nanometers, very small amount in terms of air movement, but it's enough of a compression to actually cause the temperature to rise just enough to not be snow. My photo on Facebook? Oh, you mean my snow forecast map? Is that what you mean? Because, I forgot about that. I do apologize. So that's what that downsloping really was that we were talking about. And Raymond, I don't know if you went out beyond your area, but in general, do you have a feel of kind of like how much snow the Capital District or where you are got in terms of snow totals? Because that will be the next thing before we start looking ahead. I do want to bring up storm reports and I forgot that I generally don't because I have no. Ah, okay, no problem. Where is it? I have my weather tabs here. I don't remember the exact link, so that's why I'm pretty sure I bookmarked it. Public information statement. There we go. Cool. All right, so we're going to take a quick peek at the public information statement, and this is going to kind of go through the regions here. Yeah, so Raymond, that's what I'll look. I don't know if it'll go through Albany. But we'll go through what we have here, and if I can go through Albany if you want. So here we go. Yeah, the links, because they're quite long links, I don't always. Yeah, so this is OKX. There we go. Which I could probably very easily change just from OKX to ALB. Sorry, right up there, but we'll find out. All right, so from the OKX public information statement. Oh, there it is too. So let's take a look around. So Connecticut, Fairfield County. Not bad. 4 inches through 7 inches. And the way this kind of works, public, take it with a grain of salt. CoCoRaHS, I don't know what that is. Trained spotter, I am a trained Skywarn spotter. So there's special training that we have to go through and know how to properly take snow measurements. More trained spotter, public. CoCoRaHS, don't know what that is. Amateur radio. Now, amateur radio or ham radio. I'm looking through like getting a ham radio license, but I don't know what the qualifications are specific to the public information statement. What it means by amateur radio. I don't know if that means that somebody with a ham license radioed in the forecast, or there's special training that the amateur radio operator has to have to allow them to post on the public information statement. Because from the training material I'm seeing going through in prep for if I'm going for my amateur radio license, there's nothing in there about weather. It's all about radio and physics and bouncing radio waves off the atmosphere. Yep, Raymond, I will. So, well, after we go through this, we'll go to the Albany one. All right, so that was Connecticut. Danbury, Connecticut. That's where I went to college there. 7 inches, not too bad, not too bad. All right, now we're still in Connecticut, Middlesex County. 3 to 6. Okay. New Haven, again, I would say 3 to 6. New London, 3 to say 6 again. So it looks like a pretty good amount, 3 to 6 for Connecticut there. Now we're going to Jersey, Bergen County. 2 to 6. So these 2 inches, Train Spotter and this Kokoros. Again, I'm not sure what that is. I don't. Actually, we can probably look this up in the glossary. That is not the glossary. Weather.gov/glossary. No matches. Okay. Never mind. All right. So we'll say I would trust the 2.4 inches there in East Rutherford. That's Train Spotter. Essex County, a little less than 1 inches, and even though that's weird, so this is Newark Airport, but it's public. Usually that would have a an airport operator. Here's a different one that came up on the list here, Co-op. Yeah, I don't know what Co-op is. So this was Hudson, around 2 inches. Passaic, let's say again 3 to 6. Union County, 1 to 3. New York now. So let's go through the city. Bronx, yeah, Fordham, 5.6. This was public, but on the news stations I watch, because I'm very close to New York City, I get it's my main news station is the New York City station. This I have seen on there. Flatbush, 1.4. Broadcast Media. So that is, I would probably rank that a little bit more reliable than public, but not as reliable as a Train Spotter. Nassau County, so going into Long Island, 2 to 5. You associate Co-op with video games. And Co-op video games actually don't really exist too much anymore. The latest Call of Duty games has some co-op modes, but mostly it's just online. Online multiplayer. All right, so New York, so this would be Manhattan. In Fordham, in Central Park. Official National Weather Service OBS, or observation. So this is the absolute most trustworthy official National Weather Service. 1.8 inches. The city, which was right on the cusp of that freezing line we talked about, they didn't see too much of anything. Orange County, haha. This is getting into the heart of the snow. So this was just under 5 inches to a little over 8 inches there. Again, I don't know what that Kokoros is, but there's the range. Putnam County, 5 to 6 inches, right around there. A little bit, it's basically going alphabetically. So Queens County, so New York City, again, 1 to 3, not that much. Richmond County, Staten Island, 0.6. Rockland County, Stony Point, 6 inches. Spring Valley, 5.9. So all right around that 6-inch mark. Suffolk County here. So we have, it looks like, just about 2 inches to 5 inches. And here's another one. So this Center Reach in Suffolk County, National Weather Service employee. I would say that's trustworthy as well versus public. Public, definitely take it with a grain of salt there. And then Westchester County, here, Islip Airport. Oh, but that's a public one as well. 2.7, Bayshore National Weather Service employee, Train Spotter. Those are all the good ones. This is basically checking your sources. And last but not least, Westchester County. Looks like just about 4 to 6. And I don't know what these two are, Kokoros and Co-op. Train Spotter, 6. White Plains, okay. So that is where White Plains is the Westchester County Airport area. New Rochelle, I've been there as public. All right, so that's the area for the Upton public information statement. Let's see. I'm going to try and change the code here. ALB. Let's see if that's all I need. No, it's not. Wait. Public information statement issued by National Weather Service, Albany. So the code is correct that I changed. None issued by this office recently. Raymond, that doesn't seem correct. Huh. Yeah, that is interesting. It wasn't because I just did the little tweak of the URL code there. It actually says it right there. They normally have a snow map by now. Yeah. Public information statement. Let me just try doing a Google search for this. Unless the link might have changed. I don't know. Public information statement, Albany. See if this is it. This is it. Okay, I guess my little trick there didn't work. Anyway, so issued by National Weather Service, Albany. Oh, ALY. I played an ALB. So, where did my thing go? I lost my tab. There we go. ALY. There we go. I always keep thinking it's ALB for some reason. So went to OKX, ALY. There it is. Okay, so that trick in the URL seemed to work. That's the link for the public information statements, and then the very end after equals, you just put the weather forecast office code in there, and it comes up. All right, so Raymond, I'm not too familiar with these towns around there. But, let's take a look. Litchfield County. So there's not much public, which is good with Twitter. That's weird. Norfolk, Twitter. I don't know what the source would be for Twitter. I don't know if that's the National Weather Service. You live in Albany, Canada. So I see, yeah, we'll get down there in a second. All right, going into Massachusetts here. Berkshire County. That's all that's really covered by Albany's weather forecast office. WeatherNet 6. Twitter again. Not sure what that means. Twitter, we got a couple amateur radios. There's quite a jump in here, though, from 6 to 9 inches. All right, New York, Albany County. So it looks like 2 to 5 inches. Again, I don't know where this Twitter one's coming from. But on the low end here, Cocorus, 0.83, National Weather Service employee at Albany. So I would say that's the most reliable. That's about 3.4. Oh, it's CBS 6. The Weather Watchers. Okay. Because CBS 2 News in New York City that I watch, they also advertise the Weather Watchers, but I've not really seen reports from Weather Watchers coming in there. Oop, slid down a little bit too much. Okay. Where was I? Go back up. Okay, back to Albany County. All right, so not much. Columbia County, 3 to 6. Dutchess County, 4 to 6, 4 to 7. Fulton County, 3 to 5. So again, once you got north, it really wasn't that much. Herkimer County, I don't know where that is. They were about 4 to 8. All right. So again, not as high as snowfall total once you get more north. Ooh, this is the biggest one I've seen so far. Ulster County, 12 inches. WeatherNet 6, so Weather Spotter, Weather Watcher. That's what that one is. What county was the 12-inch one? That's Ulster County. Excuse me. That's the highest I've seen so far. Now, I know that the weather watchers, they do have training they do go through. But I don't know if something might have influenced that. You know, the county, you didn't know where it is. Oh, okay. Go back up. Herkimer County, I didn't know where it is. I've never heard of that one before. Some of these other ones too, like Rensselaer County. No, I'm not sure. But still, it looks like Ulster County, this olive bridge, was the highest I've seen at 12 inches. Oh, that's way up there. Okay. And let's see. Vermont. Not too much. In this Windham County. Less than an inch to about 2.5 inches. Bennington County, 4.444. So that would be a weather watcher. Again, I don't know what that Kokoros is. And meteorologist. I don't know how I get that certification. Because I would be, when I actually submit, I'm coming up as a storm spotter. Or train spotter. Ah, okay, near Troy. Okay. And then just lots of code. Okay, cool. That was a little breakdown of the storm from today. All right, so close that out because we're not going to need that for right now. All right, now moving on in to the forecast. We're not going to go very late tonight, so we'll get through this fairly quickly. All right, just taking a look at the weather story. This is for the correct, yes. This is New York. Okay. I was like, showers. All right, no showers out there. Let me take a look at radar scope. There's nothing out there. Low temperatures. Yeah, all below freezing. And I know I'm at the freezing point right now. So, yeah, we're going to see a mix of clouds, partly cloudy overnight. One of the first things I learned is we will not have partly sunny conditions overnight. Herkimer County is also northeast of Syracuse. Okay, thank you. Now, very briefly, I know I didn't mention it the last couple of times, but we won't talk about this too much. Just because it was a big thing at the end of last year, the drought monitor. We are out of that. All right, Storm Prediction Center. They're not issuing anything because we're going to have some stabilizing and actually a little warmer conditions coming up. National Hurricane Center. No cyclone activity. That's all cool there. Taking a look at the radar mosaic here. Here's the rest of that system that's just making its way on out. Clear conditions, quite a lot of clear conditions. And when we go to the radar, you'll see why this is all clear right now. I'm going to hop on over to the radar and all dry air. So this is low level water vapor. And this is a lot of dry air that's keeping everything nice and clear. I looked outside, nice, beautiful. It's cold because it is the freezing point, but it's nice and clear. I would say a nice, cold, crisp winter night. All right, taking a look at the surface analysis. This looks like it wasn't updated. There we go. A little refresh. That storm made its way out. Here's that high pressure coming on in. 1016 millibars. Yes, the severe weather is going to be that. So let me go back. I'll just mention that very briefly. This is basically going for the 1 day outlook. So I'll go to day 2. That's going to be the issue. Right there. And this really is not going to be coming our way. And, ooh, I didn't realize it went that high. An enhanced risk. That is going to be something to take a look at. So this is the day 3 outlook. Enhanced. Dallas, Memphis, Fort Worth, Arlington, Plano, Texas. Those are all, I guess, the major cities around there. So the Storm Prediction Center had their work cut out for them when they're taking a look at that. All right. I thought they were included in there. It just wasn't listed. Oklahoma. Yeah. And we know Tuscaloosa has definitely a history with tornadoes. Where are we? Here. Okay. So because this is current, analyze 0Z Wednesday. So this was about an hour ago. It's not there yet, but this is probably the start of the ingredients for this severe weather outbreak. All right, so now back to our area, and yes, I'll be watching any tornado news. I'll hopefully be able to post over the next couple of days. It's not going to be for our area, so Raymond, yeah, I know. We'll get our hopes up here. Although, we did get the EF2 tornado in Jersey last week. Tornado in February in New Jersey. Wow. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it was definitely crazy and took a lot of people, including myself, off guard. All right, now before we get into the main forecast maps there, just gonna refresh the drink. So, stay cool. I got a little bit easier flow for all the OBS scenes. So let's start this up, and I will be right back. All right, and we are back. Our setup is working very nice. I do like. Awesome there. Also, I got a cookie. And Raymond, yes, you're right. So that's what we're getting into now. When we take a look at the forecast models. My preview is like 5 minutes behind. All right, we're good there. All right, that system's made its way out. Now let's look forward. So we're on the good old tropical tidbits here with the GFS. So your day Wednesday, highs right overhead. Pretty good. Potentially, little clipper system could be making its way on through. The Finger Lakes, Great Lakes region there is, as Alberta clippers usually are, very fast moving. So you look at where the core of the precip is there. And then 6 hours later, it goes basically from Canada to Boston in 6 hours. Quite impressive. And then here comes into Thursday. Got some regular rain for most of the area there. It turned into some snow, potentially for Maine there, going into Canada. All right. And here comes the Friday system. This is now where we get a little bit more tricky. Remember I said yesterday or last night that freezing line was kind of right along basically a latitude line just at New York City? Well, it's more north now. Yeah, it tried to spin up that storm, I believe. You're talking about this storm here or the Clipper? And then going back into Friday, in that pink, that's a lot of sleet and ice, essentially. The Clipper. Yeah, it's probably going to be a bit more intense on the model than it will be in real life, but I would believe that there's a Clipper system that would come through and be that quick. But again, I don't think it's going to... Clipper systems really don't give a lot of snow because they're such a fast mover. So here, I really don't think it's going to drop too much. And then for Friday, again, this could be a bit more of a sleety mess. In terms of an ice storm, it's definitely not out of the possibility. But it's very questionable because it could just be a lot of sleet versus freezing rain. Yes, there will be freezing rain in there, but it's not all freezing rain, so I don't think it's going to be... We're going to have an ice accretion issue. And this will last, or really come in for Friday afternoon and last through the overnight hours. Saturday morning, this is showing the heart of it's going to be over the Boston area. Yeah, that's where the forecast models are. They're forecast models. They're not reality. All right. So that's really the biggest thing we're going to have to look at, and we're not going too far into next week. So right there. These few frames of a movement. And you can kind of see it has an arch to it as well. That's the GFS. take a look at the euro. Is that the Clipper system? The kind of Clipper system. No, that's the same. That's the old system coming through. There's the Clipper system. This is showing a little bit more ice out of it. Little Alberta Clipper. Thursday, we'll have just regular rain for most of the area. Because the temperatures will be getting up there for Thursday. And then for Friday, here it comes into the frame. Starting as snow. And then in this overnight time, it looks like the temperatures will be on the rise overnight. Friday into Saturday. That's where we're going to have this changeover from snow to sleet to freezing rain to rain. So Saturday morning could be pretty messy. But once that system makes its way out, that's really it. Monday is cold again and breezy. And then we're not going to go past Tuesday, next Tuesday. But Tuesday looks like, again, pretty cold and breezy for the beginning of March. All right, so that was the euro. Back to the tropical tidbits. Oh, sorry, that was on, give credit where credit's due, pivotal weather. Yes, Raymond, I do see that. I'm glad you brought that point up. And that's what I've usually seen is this the euro and the GFS can be aligned in terms of placement, but not necessarily temperature. So here, it doesn't look like they're aligned in terms of temperature. I would probably be a little bit more on the euros camp than the GFS. But let's see the icon. Rewind that. Okay, so there's our system from yesterday and today. Its way out. There's that little Alberta Clipper. Thursday's rainy day. And then Friday. Wow, the icon's very warm. The icon doesn't even have any snow reaching really the tri-state region. It's all rain. And then it's heavy snow to heavy rain around the capital area. And then really northern New York State going into Vermont and New Hampshire. That's really where the snow is. Very interesting. So far, it looks like the icon is the warmest of all the models. Going to the 12-kilometer NAM. This model run has not finished yet. We're at 45 hours of 84. Yes. Oh, boy, what a model spread. All right, we'll see what the NAM has so far. So there's that little Clipper system. Again, this is actually a little bit more accurate than what I think. Maybe as it gains some moisture going over the Great Lakes and then over the Finger Lakes, it might pick up a little bit. But then it should just really peter out. Thursday will be the really rainy day. And that's as far out as it goes right now, 45. So we will circle back on the 12-kilometer NAM as the live data is coming in from the 0Z run, which was only an hour and a half, 2 hours and 2.5 hours ago. We're going to wait for those last third of frames to come through. 3-kilometer NAM is going to be the same way. So this is almost half hasn't come through yet. There's the Clipper. So it looks like it's having some sort of influence with the lakes. The Great Lakes, potentially a little bit, but the Finger Lakes. Because right over the Finger Lakes, it really seems to just blossom. And then peters out. Here's the rainy day for Friday. There was a little blip. Looks like once it got into Massachusetts, of maybe some freezing rain. And that's as far as that goes out. All right, HRRR definitely will not go out as far. Also, this is the 1Z run. We want the 0Z run. There we go. Want to see the CMC. Okay. So here's the HRRR with that little clipper system. And again, it looks like as it heads over the Great Lakes and the Finger Lakes, it gains a little bit of momentum, or moisture. But then peters out. And again, that freezing line is more north now, as the temperatures are rising Wednesday into Thursday. Because Thursday, there's the rain for Thursday. And then it doesn't go out far enough for Friday. Actually, right from here, I'll bring up the CMC. Cool. The rewind. There goes our system from today and last night. There's that clipper system. Yeah, it's a little bit more widespread on the Canadian here, but it looks like it does gain a little bit of moisture, a little bit of energy from the Great Lakes, Finger Lakes. And then Thursday is our rainy day. Friday. This actually looks like again for giggles, a very intense storm. That dark blue, that's going almost, so what is it, 6 hours? Over 6 inches in 6 hours, so that would be a little over 1 inch an hour of snow. That's quite intense. Okay. Again, freezing line is more north, so the tri-state region this time we'll see all starting as snow, then turning to sleet, freezing rain, and then it just moves out pretty quickly. Timing-wise, I would agree with this, timing-wise. Intensity, maybe not. This seems like it's very overdone, but as you've seen, yeah, rain on Thursday and a blockbuster snowstorm on the Canadian. But you've been around for a while with me and Joe. And with them, you know how they feel about the Canadian. And that makes its way out. And it really doesn't, that's too far out from normally where I go, but after that, there's really not much happening elsewhere. Yeah, Delvin, you're right. The icon isn't used as much. I like to throw it in just because I like to see a variety. Usually it's GFS Euro. Canadian also not so much, but the other one, and I would say this is the most popular forecast model out of them all that you would see from television, is going to be the Futurecast, or that is WSI. The WSI Futurecast model. I don't have access to that anymore, unfortunately. I would really like to still have access to that. When I was at FiOS, I had the access to that WSI Model Lab. I don't even think it's a thing anymore. modellab.wsi.com. Yeah, that website doesn't even work anymore, so I don't know what's going on with it, but I had a login for the news station for this Model Lab. All right, where were we? Canadian, we're just taking a look at briefly. Okay. Let me just switch this back so I'm in my order for the icons. RPM. Yes. That's the official name of the forecast model, the RPM. But on television, they don't use that name. That name is called the Futurecast. And yep, the UCMET and JMA, I don't really use those just because I'm not really looking into other areas of the world. I kind of stick with this flow. I usually like to start with the GFS, then the Euro, then the Icon, and then the NAMs. But both NAMs. Not everybody on the news station actually identifies the two different types of NAM, the 12-kilometer NAM and the 3-kilometer NAM. And then, oh, I had Icon again. I have Icon twice. I do have Icon twice. Don't know why. Okay, get rid of that. 3-kilometer NAM. Oh, that was the HRRR. Hang on, I did that by mistake. That was supposed to be my mesoscale HRRR, and there are others in here too. We'll go back to the HRRR there. All right, so now let's just take a look at some of these snow totals that they'd be putting out. Wow. So that again, so this is positive snow depth. This is, oh, it's still calculating. Oh, that's why I'm on the wrong run. All right, so here's the system for ignoring this up here. System for Friday. Okay. The GFS is interesting with this. Again, I don't know what's going to happen up here, but going through the tri-state region, this is still showing that 6-inch mark. So we have, at least here just outside in the suburbs of New York City where I am, we still have snow. It looks beautiful outside. And Thursday's rain will probably wash it all away. So we'll have a clean slate. And then Friday's going to be interesting because it's for this system, today and last night, it was cold beforehand. So the ground was kind of like pre-frozen. Here, for Friday, it doesn't have that because on Thursday, we're going to have some unseasonably warm conditions. We're going to be maybe temperatures into the upper 50s to near 60s potentially. Potentially. But anyway, because it's going to be warm the day before, the ground's not going to be pre-frozen. And because it's not pre-frozen, it's going to take more effort on the snow's part to cool the ground down enough to actually stick. And so that's something they'll definitely take a look at as the days progress. All right, so that is the GFS. Icon, let's take a look, and I'm on, oh, wrong date. I didn't refresh these snow ones. All right, so Friday. This is probably a bit more in line with what I'm thinking. 1 to 3 inches is really it, with some patchier stuff. Going up to the Capital District, again, I'm not sure. I don't trust them after last night. That is true, okay. But from my own perspective, just knowing the systems and stuff like that, the weather systems, I would say this is more or less what I'm thinking. All right, let's take a look at the NAM. Update that to the current run. I think that's overdoing it. Yep, that's coming up. The CMC snow map. We got some more tabs up there. I think that's overdone. Let's go to the 3 kilometer. Now here, the 3 kilometer. Oh, it does have a total. That's weird. Why wasn't it set to that? 3 kilometer. Here we go. Positive snow depth. That's in line with the icon. And also, this is where you can see the precision a little bit more with the 3 kilometer. Just look at how much more detailed and high resolution this looks. Oh, never mind. What? 42. Oh, that's not going to go out as far. That was based on 10-1. Yeah, that's why I switched it now to the positive snow depth. But I was also on the wrong forecast. Let's run. This doesn't go out enough. And the HRRR is not going to go out enough, so we won't even look at that yet. But let me switch this to CMC. It was also overdone because it wasn't for Friday. It was for Tuesday. Or Monday. Whatever you count that as. Okay. I don't think they have a positive snow depth. No. There's no positive snow depth here. So we're just going to have to take that with a little grain of salt there. And we're going to take a look at what we have there and subtract that kind of. Because this is the total, not the 24-hour. Okay. 6 inches. So we'll look at that number right there. 6. 23. So you subtract 6 from 23. That's 23. That's 20, 17, say. That's a lot of snow. And that, I think, is definitely overdone. And kind of to the point that Raymond, you were just bringing up. 10-1 ratios can be overdone. That way overdone. That is, yes. Because I think it's partially assuming, and it says it up there, assuming a TOTA-1, 10-1 snow liquid ratio. I don't think that's going to be the ratio. I think it's going to be much closer to, because it's going to be warm, I think it's going to be much closer to, say, 6-1. So yeah, we can probably do some equations right now. I don't have my iPad to actually hand do the equations at the moment. But if you can say if it's the 23 minus the 6, that's the number we would use. So we would say that number in relation to the 10-1 ratio is equal to X amount of snow with a 6-1 ratio. So there's a way you can do the math and figure out the equations and cross multiplication there. You multiply diagonally and then divide across. But we're not going to do that right now. Yeah, so Raymond, I think you've called them this before, the armchair meteorologists. They're probably going to take a look at this because they're going to see, oh my God, 23 inches of snow. And just for shits and giggles, let's say I'm going to switch that from total to 24-hour. And we're going to now look at 24-hour. There's the 17 I was talking about. So even looking at that, that's still over a foot of snow out of this from what the Canadian is saying. And I don't think that's going to happen whatsoever. Okay. And that's the NAM. Let me just switch this to the GFS for the temperatures. Because this is also going to play quite a big... Oh, that's correct. Going into Wednesday. So overnight lows tonight, yeah, we're going to be cold in the teens and the 20s. And then tomorrow warms up. Still about seasonal. Thursday. Look at this. South Jersey. Near 60. There's a spread from, say, the Jersey Shore, 60 degrees, to the northern part of the Hudson Valley there at 39. So upper 30s to 60. There's a 20-degree temperature swing, or temperature difference, between the Jersey Shore and the Hudson Valley. I appreciate that, Raymond. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But according to YouTube, because we get updates, if you've seen a lot of the big channels with YouTube, there's a whole thing about swearing on YouTube. And it's more so around monetization. I would like to get there someday. And ideally, I would like to just do this as my income source and just do like YouTube weather forecast, but that's not, I don't think that's gonna really be that viable. It's like the Joe and Joe show, they do have revenue, they do have ads revenue because they have over 1,000 subscribers, but it's not equivalent to a normal salary. So they do get retirement. So doing this as a main source of income, I don't think would work for weather. So working at my other job as well would be there. There's always upsides and downsides. Yeah, yes. Yeah, it was. All of us were, because like I worked with both Joes. I worked, I think, a little bit more with Joe Chaffee than Joe Rayo. Yeah, and also Raymond and Delvin, I don't know if you saw Joe Chaffee's post. I think it was on Facebook, specifically with the storm from yesterday. Yeah, they do bring a lot of money, especially during severe weather events. Yeah, that is true. But I don't know if you saw the post from Joe Chaffee on Facebook, I believe it was, when he was talking about his opinion, his forecast for the snow, and there was so much hate he got. He said in this one day, he had to block the most amount of people he has ever blocked in a single day because they all had their own thing to say. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but they were getting very vulgar and commenting vulgar stuff on his posts. And that's just not right. So yeah, that is the downside with getting bigger like that. Haters are just, yeah. Haters are just gonna hate. James Span's famous words. And I see it, Delvin. But yeah, so tonight we're not playing the Minecraft. Tonight we'll be playing Hogwarts Legacy, which also I was kind of expecting some people to jump in, but I know there was a controversy with streaming the game online because of transgender phobia associated with J.K. Rowling. But I haven't seen anybody jump in with that, so we'll see what happens when I switch the game. All right, so overall, let me give the overalls. All right, so for the overall, it looks like Friday is going to be interesting. Tomorrow, yeah, there's going to be maybe this little clipper system making its way through. Maybe a few flakes, unless you're in the Finger Lakes, Great Lakes region, and then north of that, because that's where it looks like it could be gathering some more energy and actually maybe having an accumulating snowfall. But then yeah, did you see the Disney lost Reading Creek district? Oh, you mean the? 'Cause I know at Disney World in Florida they kind of like their own city, but not a city. Is that what you're talking about? The Daily Weather Noah Weather Radio plug. That'll come after we do the switch to the gaming mode. So I'm gonna head on this. Hopefully, if I ever get sponsors, this will be the sponsor break. So for right now, I'm just going to go into also refresh on the drink and set up the game. I tested it and it seemed to have worked with game capture. So we'll be doing that. So overall, looks like, again, Friday, still a big question mark. So stay tuned to the channel and I'll give updates on that. But tomorrow's Clipper system doesn't look like much. Maybe some decent rain on Thursday, and depending on exactly where you are, some unseasonably warm weather. But that could also mean less snow accumulation for Friday. Okay. So I'm going to switch on over, and I will be right back. All right, it looks like we are back. Hello. Game is ready. New drink. All right. Before we get into that, as Raymond has said, the Raymond, I would definitely appreciate that. Thank you. And Raymond, also, as you mentioned, time for the daily NOAA Weather Radio plug. Boom. This has NOAA Weather Radio functions inside of it. It doesn't have to be a specific design like this handheld unit. This is a GMRS, which is like a beefed up version of a Walmart or Amazon style radio. In here, it is going to have a function to turn on the NOAA Weather Radio scanning.
Please drive with extra caution. Here is the forecast for the New York City metropolitan area. Tonight, partly cloudy this evening, then clearing. Lows in the lower 30s. Northwest wind.
So there's the NOAA Weather Radio, and as it said, please drive with caution this evening. And this also has the GMRS function inside of it, so I can broadcast on GMRS. I haven't heard anything on this channel, but let's give it a try. Hello, testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3, WRUZ 372. Probably no one's gonna respond, but that's what this specific type of radio is. You don't have to get this. They do sell cheaper base station or just like stationary NOAA weather radios, and they are good to have. Because if the network or the infrastructure goes down, then how are you going to get your weather alerts if you lose power, so you have no Wi-Fi, and the cell towers go down because they lose power, or no backup or something happens. So you don't have a cell phone network and you don't have Wi-Fi because your power went out. How are you going to get weather information, especially in some sort of severe weather event? That's where the NOAA weather radios come in, because they don't have an infrastructure. They just broadcast from, this one specifically was Upton, which we looked at the Upton information before. That broadcasts from there, and then whoever wants to receive it, it's in the airwaves to receive. All right, so there's the plug for the NOAA weather radio. I feel like I should be like, affiliate link below, but I don't have an affiliate link. All right, so the game of the evening, Hogwarts Legacy. Very fun game. It was controversial, and there was a cancel culture kind of movement against Hogwarts Legacy, where basically they're like, if you buy this game and you play this game, you support transgender phobia. I don't know if I agree with that. It's a fun game. I played it, and we're going to play it right now. So let me switch on over to the PS5 here. There we go. And I do like this because I have individual control of the mix now between the audio you hear from the PS5 and my microphone audio. So let me know if the game is too loud or too quiet. Right now in the in the menu, it's supposed to be quiet, so just like little background music. But as we get into the game, let me know. Excuse me. All right, loading up Hogwarts Legacy. Read before playing, definitely. Read all the warnings. And this, I don't have a noise gate actually applied to it. So it should just play. And let's see, let's check the audio levels of this game as well. I think I might have to increase the volume a little bit because the levels look a little low. It's hitting minus 20 dB, so we'll see. And this game works with the pass-through of the capture card. So I am actually watching it with no delay on the TV. And now that I have the TV, I can definitely see there's like maybe 100 milliseconds, very minute or imperceptible in terms of capture. There we are. Okay. I think I'm gonna raise this just a little bit. Just maybe 1 dB. And let's see how this goes. Alright. We're gonna do some quests right now. So what do I have to do? Speak to Amit about gobbledygook. Gobbledygook apparently is the language of the goblins. And what was this? Meet Sebastian by the Overlook. So this particular, even though these yellow ones mean it's a main storyline, I don't think at some points you have to go through the Sebastian one, because he does take you very dark down the dark arts of the wizarding world. But actually, let's do that. Let's go down the dark arts route. And how far away is it? Quite a ways. So I have two options with this game that I kind of like. Once you go outside. Oh, that is not outside. Never mind. Yeah. Outside is somewhere. Or here we go. Just follow the dots in the little mini map at the bottom left of the screen. I'm not outside yet. No. These two have a thing.
Slytherin spellbook can help her. I must find it. I'm requesting your help. Meet me outside of Feldcroft, near the catacomb.
All right, so we
I
are
have some
going.
promising news about the location of our Hebridean dragon friend and where to return her. You know what? Meet me in the town circle in Hogsmeade.
All right, so I'm receiving letters of requests for my help, because my help is so uniquely required everywhere. All right, so now I can either walk, and there it is, about 1,200 steps away, or this is the wizarding world. I can fly on my broomstick. I do really like the way they have travel here. Let's say I'm gonna land over here for now. So I have the broomstick. I also have the hippogriff. So it can run, and then here we go. We're flying across it. Lands on a hippogriff. Very majestic and noble creatures. What is over here? Got some enemies in red.
Go!
Yeah, the voice is kind of weird with this, because you kind of change and adjust the pitch. Those enemies are gone. Okay. Let's continue. Oh, those enemies are back. Are they animals or are they actual enemies? Those are wolves.
Bust the high wing!
Alright, so we'll hold it there. Can I land? Oh, I cannot enter on my mount over there.
High wing, go!
Oh, okay,
Slow
I'm on
down
the ground.
now. There we go.
Magic knapsack, it's called. The other way, which is also very efficient, called the flue powder. So I have to go up this way, and I've already explored these areas. So I can flue powder to a location I'm already there.
You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was before I invented flue powder.
Yes, as she said, cannot imagine
It's like
the
a place
inconvenience
right
of
out of a
travel before.
storybook.
And there we go with the little Irish town. So we're going to kind of go make our own path here. Because the shortest distance between two objects is a straight line. Gotta get... Oh no, where am I? Almost drowned. Oh no. We'll see if we can also capture any glitches occurring. Alright. Ooh. We're waiting for the Slytherin Dark Line with the graveyard wait. He is.
I thought my
And
owl
it's
might
snowing.
pique your interest.
Yeah, you requested my...
I came as soon as I could. I've
my
been so
assistance.
distracted by the scriptorium and Slytherin's book that I'd almost forgotten what it was that struck me about that triptych. This is the view painted on the canvas that was left on it.
That's incredible. You know this area well.
And while I was waiting for you, I scouted around and discovered an abandoned mine nearby, surrounded by Ranrock's loyalists.
Do you think there's a connection to the triptych?
I've no idea, but perhaps they're searching it, the way they did Rookwood Castle and Isidora's Manor.
Once we get into a battle,
How do we want to handle this?
I will see how the levels are. The levels seem okay at the moment. Leave it kind of right where it is there. Just see a little background noise. Okay. And there's not really a morality system in the game, but you have morality choices. So here is the more cautious, noble way, or going kind of guns blazing. Perhaps we can avoid... Oh, I shouldn't have said that, because apparently there's this whole Second Amendment gun crackdown on YouTube now.
We need to see what they're doing, but let's not draw their attention.
Very well.
Let's do the
And I
sneaky
still
approach.
have that rune symbol we found on the triptych. If there is a connection, I suspect we'll see that symbol again.
Also, does the voice sound
After
kind of
you.
weird to anybody? Not most of the characters, but my character's voice. And it's not just a fluke. I've multiple restarts. Oh, I lost my camera. Hang on a second. Battery change. Wow, my freeze frame is quite interesting. Hang on. All right, I'm still with you all. I'm just trying to get the camera back up. Give me a second here. Other angle I have available, if necessary. Interesting. Try to do a camera restart here. Okay. When it restarts the focus. So give me a chance to reset focus here. That's good right there. Okay. Cool. And we're back. That's why it's nice to have multiple batteries, because this camera can't charge and use at the same time. And everything else looks good. Cool. You sent it via Radar Omega. Driving a car or any vehicle, unless you want to drive into the tornado with one of those tornado armored vehicles, because that was a Discovery Channel show I really liked. However, it was kind of ruined for me when my chemistry professor in high school actually he's an avid storm chaser, and was with a storm chasing group called Silver Lining Tours, and happened to be following with the Discovery Channel crew. They film out of order. You would think that what you see on the show is the correct order of events that happen, but it's not, unfortunately. And the extreme meteorologist, Reed Timmer, I'm at least thinking that Raymond or Delvin, you're both familiar with Reed Timmer. Alright, back to Hogwarts, or we are outside of Hogwarts now. We're trying to... Ooh, here's some wand work. Actually, that's a good test. Just to see what audio levels that get up to. I think that actually went louder than my microphone.
There they are up ahead.
I'll let you lead.
But we are here going to go sneaky. Disillusionment.
Revelio.
No one enters this mine. Kill anyone who tries.
Ah, kill anyone who tries,
Revelio
unless
is
we
for blood.
kill them first. And even though it looks like I'm in like this stealth invisibility thing, when I'm close enough, they can see me. Unless I sneak up behind them. Kind of like this. And I do this.
Who's there?
So I took out two at once. There's another goblin over there. These are the evil goblins. Not all goblins are evil. Let's see if I can take care of another two of these. Some evil goblins.
What would you do?
And I did. Cool. There's one more. Looks like evil goblin over there. Conveniently enough with his back towards us. So I can sneak up and turn him into a statue. comes another. Didn't actually get suspicious.
Revelio.
Where'd he go?
Bring me a dozen humans to battle. I'll take them all. Run the other way when they see me, humans do. Every time.
And that's not the case because I just essentially killed him. It's
All
not the
of
killing
Ranrock's
curse.
loyalists deserve the same fate. Nice work.
Okay, and I don't think we need disillusionment anymore, so I will turn that off.
This is going well.
We make a good team.
We do at that.
Do we have some more of those goblins up ahead?
Next time I see Fig or that student, I'll give them what they deserve.
That student, if you heard, they were talking about is me. Yeah, and Raymond, yeah, I know that's how TV works because I worked in TV for that, but I was just hoping they had a little bit more legitimacy.
Once again, we can fight our way through or be discreet.
Let's try
You
and
know
be
which one I'd
discreet.
choose?
Revelio.
You ought to cut back on pudding. Mistook you for a troll the other day.
This might be a little bit more challenging to be discreet. But let's see.
Petrificus Totalis. Revelio.
One of the best meals I've ever eaten.
Petrificus Totalis.
It's funny, they don't see their own comrades, I guess you could say, being taken down.
I don't see myself doing this sort of thing forever, though. Fancy I'll have my own operation worked out one day. People working for me.
Let's see if I can continue to be sneaky.
Petrificus Totalis.
Picture on my eye. I actually haven't followed it, so interesting point you bring up again with he works for KFOR with Mike Morgan time to time. I haven't followed really Reed Timmer because, to be honest, he kind of seems like an asshole. He's a fellow meteorologist, and I respect that, but there's something about him, at least from the television perspective, and I know on TV there's a persona that you personify. However, I don't think it's an act that he has. I think that's just him. And also from what I've heard with my chemistry professor that has done storm chasing, it's kind of the same thing that he's heard. He's also heard from within the storm chasing community whenever he goes with that Silver Lining tour company.
Enjoy suffering, do you?
Oh no.
Accio, Protego, come through. And the fun is over.
Fun is a relative term.
It is. And that was relatively fun.
It kind of was fun though. Excuse me. Raymond, so to be honest with you, it's just about comfort level. So I grew up in the New York City area, the
I
New York
should
City
tell you.
DMA.
Rumor is this mine
And
was closed long ago due to an infestation of spiders.
oh, an infestation
Oh,
of
nice.
spiders. Okay, that's good to
Nothing I
know.
haven't seen before.
Anyway, I
That's
still
the
stick to my
spirit.
DMA because that's what I'm comfortable with, essentially. Until I really have a reason to venture out beyond my DMA, which I could be covering, yes, and following wherever the severe weather is, but it's kind of like a home to me. So I want to forecast for my home area and provide that to people. Which the store I work at, I do provide weather forecasts for them, which they took into account with today and had like a delayed opening of the store. But that's kind of an unofficial thing, and it's still nice. But yeah, the reason I believe the designated market area or DMA would be dead in the future is because the stereotypical or traditional 5 p.m. newscast is dying. And this is something that I know Joe Chaffee and I have talked about. So FiOS 1 News ended in 2019. And in 2019, we talked about this within a decade from 2019. So I would say 2029 or even 2030. The standard newscast, the 5 p.m. newscast, is pretty much going to be dead. That's what his take was. And I for the most part agree. I think it's still going to be around, but it's not going to be the primary way to get news. Because the idea for that was at 5 p.m., that's when dinner's on the table. Kind of going back to the 60s, the white picket fence kind of era, where the man goes to work, the woman's a stay-at-home wife or stay-at-home mom, and she has dinner ready on the table for the husband at 5 p.m. Because they would clock out at 5 p.m., dinner's on the table at 5 p.m., so when the husband comes in, dinner's right there, ready to be eaten. That's where the 5 p.m. newscasts kind of came in, because at that time, while you're eating dinner, you're watching the news. That's not really happening anymore, because with streaming services, or I could basically just ask Siri what the news is of the day. That 5 p.m., I have to sit down and have dinner and watch the news for the day, kind of over. Or if I'm going to work my standard, say, 9 to 5 job, I would be watching the 7 or 8 a.m. news or listening to the radio on my way to work. That's where the designated market area, the DMA, came from. And that's kind of dying right now because those standard, like, 9 to 5 Monday through Friday jobs, they don't always exist anymore. They're kind of dying off. That corporate environment's really dying off, and a lot of people, especially myself, are working, say, retail or some other type of job. Even when I worked at the news station, I didn't have a Monday through Friday job like that, because the news station itself works in a different way. And Delvin, you do bring up a very good point. So highway traffic just got worse and worse. So and with more car dependency, so dinner on the table at 5 p.m. doesn't really work. Yeah, that 7 to 8 a.m. news when you're going on the road to commute for your 9 a.m. job doesn't really work. Yes, the EF2 tornado last week was a perfect example of the 5 p.m. newscast doesn't seem to work too well, or the 7 to 8 a.m. news. Because even when I was working at FiOS, the 8 a.m. newscast was fairly important. And by the time we got to 9 a.m., it was just reruns. So I had to have my final updates of the early morning done for the 8 a.m. news. And essentially, if we wanted to kind of just get things done out of the way early, what we would do is we would record in the 9 o'clock hour for the later 10 to 11 a.m. newscast.
For better or for worse, we're in.
Yes, the 4 to 4:30, that's when they start. And even today, a lot of the news stations in New York City, they said they normally would start at 4:30 a.m. broadcast, and they went early. They started broadcasting the news at the live news at 4 a.m. for the snowstorm that was today. And let's see, I'm gonna just watch the audio levels here to kind of get a good idea to see if it's too loud or too quiet, and also let me know if the game's too loud or too quiet. So here, we're gonna surprise them. Oop, and they fell. I guess that counts as a kill for me.
This mine looks like a tomb.
It was closed after accidents were reported.
Oh, I don't know if you can hear that if anybody has headphones, but there's definitely 3D audio effects going on in here. And I couldn't really see the audio levels because I was paying attention too much to the game. Yeah, the Build More Highways thing. That's where there's a channel I watch, and it was a YouTube channel that I watched that was recommended to me, which was Not Just Bikes. So this was a family, I think one of the spouses lived in the US and then moved to Canada, and then they married and they had a family in Alberta, Canada. And then the infrastructure in Canada, which is also fairly similar to the US, was just not safe and conducive to raise a family in their point. So they moved to Amsterdam. Amsterdam was very interesting to see kind of the way the road structure is. So in there, and also in terms of the safety with kids,
I don't see any
they
goblins
can
in
let
these
the
webs.
Too disgusting.
they can let
for
the
even a
kids go
spider
run
to
through the
prey
city.
on.
Unsupervised, say a 10-year-old child running through, playing with other kids around their age, and it's totally fine and it's normal. Today here, if you have a 10-year-old child and you let the 10-year-old child kind of go to the park on their own and have fun and play with other kids, you might be arrested for some sort of child endangerment or something, or unsupervised, because you weren't supervising your child. Ooh. Hello. Ooh, that is too loud. I just saw the audio level. Let me lower that a little bit. All right, let's try this.
Are in here?
Too many. They definitely think there's something here they want.
Oh. This is kind of a different path than I thought. It's not have anything to do with the dark arts. We have to get up there.
That ledge is awfully high.
Cool. And we're gonna move that box over here. And we're gonna climb up there. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, and I know the start time of schools has changed along the years as well. Like my school, classes started at 8 a.m. and the bus route would actually be kind of like 7:30. I would catch the bus because also where I grew up, it was maybe 5 miles away, 5 to 10 miles away, so it wasn't that big. There was about a half-hour bus route from starting at the school to doing the whole bus route back to the school. And so school would start at 8 a.m. You get your lockers, and I believe then home class, whatever your first period was, started at 8:10. Yes, they do cycle. I saw that in that Not Just Bikes YouTube channel. There are a whole lots of bicycles that are around the schools because kids just bicycle themselves to school. They don't use the bus. They don't need their parents to supervise them and drop them off. So they would just take care of themselves, essentially, at 10 years old.
It's no wonder spiders give people goosebumps.
Could be the hairy legs, or the soulless eyes, or the venomous fangs, or any number of endearing qualities, really.
Smashing.
Should have thought to conjure stairs.
I don't know if I could conjure just yet. Or I'm allowed to. I mean, I could do things in here that are actually breaking the law. The wizarding law. And so we have to get up, it looks like. What do we have there? Oh, yes, I know what to do here. We're going to Reparo.
Reparo.
Cool. We repaired the bridge. Let's just see what's up here. Spider webs are defeated, and spiders are kind of defeated with fire. Those little spiders just ran away. Chest up here. Oh, I filled my gear slots. Oh, did I? Do you think we need to standardize weather coverage for wall-to-wall tornado warnings on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter? Oh. The answer, I would say, is yes, I would like to see that. However, it's very tricky. Since YouTube it's not centralized. Like, you don't have a central, like, news, like, if I go to the news, so, like, I usually watch, say, CBS News or ABC News, I can go to that channel and get whatever the latest news is. On YouTube, yes, the news stations do broadcast or upload their own videos, and they do go live on YouTube and other social media platforms. However, there's no, like, you can go to this specific channel all the time to get the latest news for severe weather outbreaks or for breaking news or anything like that. So, Raymond, I apologize, I skipped that. I didn't see that. Oh, back into the gear. So I'm getting pretty good gear. So it's getting harder to pick gear that you don't use. So I have to destroy something that I could have sold. Because there is a money system and a kind of bartering system in the game. Now I should be able to collect this. Vicorious Blazer school uniform. Or decorous. Now that I repaired the bridge, I can walk across it. Cool. And these plants. Oh. Oh, big spider. Oh, that spider went away. Gotta be somewhere. There it is. some of these like wizarding battles are really intense. I really like the game mechanics with this.
Confringo! We're making quick work of them.
There
Professor
are
Hackett would be
some
proud.
little glitches, like here's
Shoot,
one
look at that.
glitch.
Ranrock's loyalists have all but declared
It's
war.
inside him right now. There it is. I don't know what it looks like, some sort of particle that's just frozen there. I've had objects just kind of freeze in place. You're just concerned about the rise of armchair meteorologists. Yes, I would be too, as actual meteorologist. I guess there should be some sort of verification system. So if I have a channel that is primarily meteorological focused, I think YouTube should have some sort of way that they can say, yes, he is a verified meteorologist, so what he says is more correct, versus the armchair meteorologist. If they, like, I have a Bachelor of Science in Meteorology, so that makes me a meteorologist. But if somebody's just like, I've been following weather for a decade and this is not correct, that, and there's no way they have any like formal education, because a career like meteorology really should, or actually I should say needs, some sort of formal education. I think there should be some sort of verification system with that. And Raymond, you are correct there. Where are we going? We're going around this way. Oh, there's a fork in the road. Which way do I take? Extreme danger. It's because of that poisonous vine. It really wants to get me. Look at it. But it doesn't like light. So there we go. There's another chest, it looks like. Cool. Large square robes, I believe it said. And here we can get through with the light. Oh, and we're gonna confringo this. It brings some light over here. Cool. And I don't think I need it over here anymore. Awesome. And oh, that also lit this fire, which I didn't do. But I still need the light to get through here. It's weird how a vine is afraid of a light. Alright, pushing through here. There's a spider. And teamwork, we got rid of it. Cool. And there's more of a little fork in the road, it looks like. Got some gold coins. Awesome.
We've still not seen a single rune symbol.
I think we're going to be a bit distracted from runes for a moment.
An unwelcome distraction at that.
Oh, this was not a fork in the road. I just can't go that way.
Revelio.
Oh, there is a lot of goblins over there. There's a chest over here, some up there. Alright, we're gonna have no armchair meteorologist. No. What was it? Yes, you make a great point there. So, correct. But also, there's a lot of online social media now is very opinionated. Somebody that might claim
We
they're
have
a
another
weather
fight on our
expert and
hands.
not a meteorologist
Why
per
am I
se
not surprised?
might say that they are correct in their forecast, even though they don't really have the experience or the training to say they are correct.
You should know better than that by now.
Hello, everybody.
Told you before, and look what happens when you don't listen. I won't rest. You're dead. I'll cut you from shoes to press. Why drag this out longer than necessary? Won't get away with that. You call that spell casting? Ooh, this shouldn't take long.
I have the elements on my side here. Oh, that's a big spider there. That was an intense one.
You're not a bad chap for a Slytherin.
Ah, there's that Hufflepuff loyalty you're so well. A rune symbol above the cabin door.
Ranrock's loyalists never knew to look for it.
Oh, it's now puzzle time. Them spiders belong in Australia. Funny, yeah. Huh.
I wouldn't be surprised to find a couple more rune symbols.
Oh, I see. I have 2 rune symbols located. A third.
Revelio.
1. Oh, there's the third. We got 1, 2, 3. Oh, I see. That one's covered by spider webs.
Confringo.
Cool. And
These
2.
runes must be connected somehow. Try casting at them more quickly.
Oh, good night. Alright, let's try this Again, so 1, 2, and 3. This might be a wider spread. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, maybe, yeah, missed the middle one. They were connected. Try again. 1, 2, and 3.
Wasn't
I think I
expecting
got
that.
it. Ooh, got it.
Revelio.
We'll continue that a little
What do you
later.
have there?
A journal entry by Isadora.
Hopefully it will help us
Sebastian,
unravel
I
more
think
of
I
this
found
mystery.
something. A canvas piece.
Brilliant.
Oh, there's a
Our
cauldron
efforts
going
weren't in
on
vain
over here.
after all. Still, something about this place feels odd.
Room. Oh, there's a mirror over here. That's gonna be needed a little later. Because using my special powers, I can walk through certain mirrors.
If the triptych led us here to find this bit of canvas, we can probably assume that Isadora Morganark was here.
She seems to have been everywhere.
But if she was using the Undercroft and the cellar beneath her
Yeah, that's
manor in
true.
Feldcroft, why would she
Because,
create
as
this
we
space?
know,
And why
you can't
hide it
just
behind
say,
cryptic rune
"Oh, that
symbols?
looks like an
An
EF2
ancient
tornado."
magic that no one but you could see.
Isadora
Like,
and Percival Rackham,
the other day
another
I said it's
executors, could see
probably an
traces of
EF2
ancient magic
tornado,
too.
but I couldn't say
Rackham.
for sure
I haven't
because
heard his
the
name before.
National Weather
Here's some of
Service,
the memories I've seen.
the
I
local
don't
weather
think he and
forecast
Isadora
office,
saw eye to eye on how
they're
this
the
magic
ones
should
that have
be
to
used.
send out an
This is
observation
all
team
rather
to confirm the
baffling.
damage.
Let's take the canvas back to the triptych. Perhaps the answers are there. This place is odd, to be sure, but I'm fascinated by it. Now,
Revelio.
trek back out of here and to Hogwarts.
Unless
Check
we
back.
can find another passageway to the Undercroft. Let's have a look around.
Yeah, let's have a look around. Use the magic pathway. Oh, that's the mirror. There we go. Back to the Undercroft. Through the mirror.
And now for the moment of truth.
It has to fit.
Alright, let's find out. This.
Please tell me you recognize the location in this bit of canvas.
The good news is I do, in fact.
And the bad news?
We're in for more trouble. I know that coast. Ranrock has taken over a huge mine in the surrounding area. Morronweem has suffered for it. It's as bad as Feldcroft's become. Should we head there now?
We should wait.
Why?
All this time, we've been a step behind Ranrock. I may know someone who could help us get ahead.
Who is that?
A friendly goblin. He wants no part in Ranrock's fight.
A friendly goblin? You know, goblins cursed my sister to shut her up. Said she should be seen and not heard.
I do, but not all goblins are...
Not all goblins what? Have you forgotten Feldcroft? Have you forgotten the mine we just went through?
Oh,
No,
we're dealing
Sebastian,
with
I
racism
haven't.
here.
You're not listening to me.
Why would I listen to someone so ignorant?
You don't know what you're saying. Take a breath for a moment.
Oh, I know precisely what I'm saying. Unbelievable.
He's an interesting character. All he's trying to do is save his sister from something that probably can't be saved from, and he's willing to do anything, which makes him dangerous. That was... I think? That him? That is him. Yeah, just fell out of the sky. I can't talk to him at the moment. I could probably follow him. So we completed one quest. Oh, and here's inside of Hogwarts. The graphics on here look pretty good. So this is on, again, on a PS5. I could have, if I wanted to, gotten this on the gaming PC. Again, the gaming PC graphics card is going to be more powerful than the PS5. But this looks pretty good on its own. I'd say this looks fairly smooth. And because it's on a gaming console, yeah, say what you want about gaming consoles, but they're just smoother. And there's no disadvantage. So I am using the PS5 controller right now, but you don't have to use the PS5 controller. If I really wanted to, I could plug in a mouse and keyboard and use mouse and keyboard control and get the same exact experience as I would on a gaming computer. Here's the Enchanted Orchestra, or I say 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, quartet. The Enchanted Quartet. There's a lot of like little intricacies in here. Like there's this conversation going on there. I can just walk in randomly and see and listen in. Like there's a group of people conversating, conversing. I can't hear what they're actually saying. Some of them I guess I can't. Some of them I can. Yeah, look at the reflections in here. That's what the PS5 or the next gen, technically current gen console is all about. Is the lighting and reflections.
How nice to see you, my young friend.
Yeah, Raymond, you bring up a good point. Because those armchair meteorologists, they may not be in the area. They're not directly impacted. So they're going to debate, oh, it was an EF4 and EF5.
Hello, Hamura.
Puzzle time. That was a quick puzzle solve.
Revelio.
What do we have inside here? Oh yeah, so Quidditch is a very important part of the Harry Potter series. But it seems I cannot play Quidditch in this game. It says it's because it's the headmaster's decision, but we know it's the game devs. It's their decision to not include Quidditch. My suspicion is that they entirely have Quidditch ready to go, but they're going to do it as a DLC that you have to pay to get Quidditch. And it's going to be online based. Which would actually be pretty fun. Online Quidditch. Oh, this is brand new. I didn't know this existed. What do we got down here? Oh, I don't have a level 3 lock. All these locks have different levels. Something over there that I can't see unless I peek around the gate. Yes. In the beginning of the game, the reasoning for the professor for not the headmaster of Hogwarts to not allow a Quidditch season this year was because last year had a fatality in Quidditch. Somebody died in a Quidditch match, which I guess in the wizarding world, things are more dangerous. So somebody died, a student died in the Quidditch match. So therefore, this season, the headmaster's like, no Quidditch for anybody. All right, and I think right here, I'm going to call it. Getting late into the evening. All right. So, Raymond, Delvin, it's been a pleasure as always. So, just a little weather recap here. It looks like there could be a little clipper system making its way through tomorrow, but it doesn't look like it's going to bring much unless you're around the Finger Lakes region and just around the areas outside the Finger Lakes region there. And then rain for Friday or Thursday. Which, for Friday, the rain on Thursday could have an effect because of the warmer temperatures. The ground's not going to be as ready to accept the snow. So that's where I would say Friday's snow totals are not going to be as high. Maybe in the 1 to 3 inch range. And again, we'll see if there's this downsloping effect like affected Raymond U today. Yep. That's why we're gonna end right now. I've been going for almost 2.5 hours. This says live 2 hours and 25 minutes. But it's fun as always. Readjust there. Cool. All right, so Raymond Delvin, it's a pleasure as always. Anybody else that's new just watching this, if you want to get more weather content, more car content, specifically electric cars, motorcycle content, specifically electric motorcycles, feel free to check out the channel. Hit that subscribe button below and the little bell icon right next to that so you get notified whenever I go live like this or I upload videos. And I think I should have at least the first part ready for my Harley Davidson Livewire review going live tomorrow. So I think I should have that, and it'll be quite interesting. So even if you're not into the electric vehicles, feel free to give that a watch. I would really appreciate it. Again, thank you all for watching. This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero. Have a great rest of your night, and I will see you all in the next video. I can't hear you.